Have you ever struggled with acceptance? In this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can accept your situation as it is right now and still keep moving forward towards a better life. Hi everyone, my name's Fern Lulham. I'm a motivational speaker, and on this channel I give you practical strategies and tips to help improve your mental and emotional health in all situations. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Today I just wanted to do a chatty video on the topic of acceptance, a very tricky topic to cover. Of course there are so many different opinions on acceptance, but I think what it boils down to is two main schools of thought. The first school of thought says if you can accept your situation as it is, if you can accept yourself for who you are and how you interact with the rest of the world, you will find inner peace and you will be happy. The thinking behind this mindset is that if you don't accept your situation as it is, how can you ever feel calm? How can you ever be just happy right now as you are? Surely you'll always be stressed out, hoping that something will change, hoping that something is going to fix all of your problems, and probably that thing might never happen. So you just need to be happy, accept yourself as you are, and life can go on with tranquil bliss. Let's face it, struggles come our way all the time. Different things happen in our lives where we might be going along just fine, everything's happy, something hits us, and all of a sudden we have to accept a situation that to us may be completely unacceptable. Sometimes accepting a situation makes us feel like we have to just say we're okay with that situation, which we might not be okay with that situation at all. For example, if somebody close to us dies, we don't want to accept that that's happened. We don't think that that's okay, and by saying we accept it, we're almost saying that we don't care about it anymore. And that thought to us is unthinkable. It's just not right in any capacity of the word, and we can't bring ourselves to say that. Completely understandable, right? And yet, with our first school of thought, if we don't accept that, how can we ever be happy? How can we move on with our lives and enjoy the things that we are experiencing now, or have any hope for our future, all the time we're clinging on to this thing that we can't do anything about? I know this was especially true for me when it came to accepting that I was registered blind. I didn't want to accept that because it had all of these implications on my life and the things that I might and might not be able to do, that I simply wouldn't accept it. I would act as though I had full sight and I was fine and I didn't need any extra help because I wasn't in a place where I was ready to accept it. But again, if we're going down the acceptance makes you happy route, you've got to come to terms with it, and somehow you have to accept it. I actually think this scenario of disability or illness is sometimes very much associated with the word acceptance, because it's something that universally we all realise is a very difficult thing to accept. It's seen as a burden on our lives, something that we don't want to have to put up with, and yet we're stuck in that scenario. I don't believe that this is in any way confined to this situation though. There are so many scenarios in life where we have to accept things that perhaps we don't want to. The breakdown of a relationship, for example, or a job that didn't work out the way we hoped it would. There are so many life-changing events that all of a sudden shake our world up and we don't know how to accept them. The second school of thought is don't accept less than you think you should have. Always be looking to better yourself. Always be looking to improve your situation. Don't just accept what you're told. If you're told you can't do something, question that. Look into that. It's something that I've already talked about on this channel. Don't just accept what people see you as or perceive you as or think that you can and can't do. Always push the boundaries. Always see for yourself if that's something that you want to accept or whether it's something you want to challenge. Again, I can very well relate this to my own scenario. When you tell people you're blind, there are all kinds of assumptions and misconceptions and things that will come at you which You might either just accept as true, or you might want to challenge and see if that's actually the case or not. I've actually come to believe that society seems to think that those who have a disability or a chronic illness are a whole lot more accepting than we actually are. I've had so many questions about how I manage my day-to-day life, from online interactions to how I go out and about doing things, to work, to relationships. It's a whole minefield of different things that people can't understand. And yet sometimes I think the issue with these questions is that we don't always think them all the way through. For example, someone coming to me and saying, "Isn't it nice that you can still get out and about even though you can't see?" makes me think, do they think that I would simply accept that now I haven't got sight, I will have to just stay inside and never do anything in my life again? Do they honestly think that I have no ambition, no drive, no desire? Emotionally, I'm exactly the same as them. I still want everything that they want. In other words, in many of these situations, we're assuming that people accept far more than they ever should on a very deep emotional level. So then we reach this crossroads of, do we accept ourselves exactly as we are? Or do we challenge what we accept about ourselves and keep pushing in order to grow, in order to get further in our lives? Well, I believe that we can do both. And it all comes down to how we view the things that we don't accept. If when people question the things we don't accept, we feel resentment and it makes us angry instead of inspired, we're not serving ourselves. I don't think that acceptance is this kind of enlightenment that we reach and from then on we're never ever going to question ourselves again. I think it's a daily challenge, and of course we're going to have those moments or those days or even those weeks or months where we don't feel very good about ourselves, where we don't accept something that's happened to us, or we don't even accept a part of ourselves. That's perfectly normal, and I think if we're striving to accept ourselves fully all of the time, again, that's a negative reaction to acceptance, because mentally we're not doing ourselves any favours. We're not cutting ourselves any slack. We're essentially saying we need to be perfectly calm and tranquil all of the time, which actually is inwardly creating more stress for us. However, if there are parts of our situation that we believe we can change, we're not hurting anyone else, and we don't necessarily have to accept that thing about our lives, I don't think there's any harm in giving that a go. At the end of the day, if nobody did that, we wouldn't have these amazing technological advances or scientific breakthroughs, because everyone would simply be accepting themselves and their lives as they were, and they wouldn't be challenging anything. I don't think acceptance is as solid as a lot of people believe. I think it's a flexible thing. We can accept the parts of our lives that we can't change to some extent, but equally we can still keep building on those parts of our lives. We can explore different avenues to make us the happiest and most acceptant we can be of ourselves and our situations. This is a really interesting debate for me, and I'd love to hear your views on this topic. Do you believe that we should accept ourselves exactly as we are? Do you believe that there are certain things we shouldn't just accept in our lives? Where do you stand? Or do you, like me, feel like there's got to be some kind of middle ground? Please leave me a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And give this video a thumbs up if you've ever struggled with your own acceptance issues, and let's work through this together. As always, if you found this video interesting and you, like me, are passionate about improving your mental and emotional health, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your day as though your favourite store were having a 100% off sale. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye! Do you believe that acceptance... However, I believe that we can do how we view this idea of... how we view our... Oh, shut up! We can explore different avenues of how we can be... Oh God, I don't know. I don't think that acceptance is this kind of... Don't forget to subscribe.